a corn syrup facility or it's a plant, so you're bringing all the inputs in and making the corn syrup and then sending it out. Is that right?
Yeah. So the corn will come in. We'll refine it into corn syrup and then ship it out.
And so it's not as though it was. So pardon me for being a neophyte, if you will, but so it's not as though it's just, hey, we have a production facility for sugar somewhere else and we bring it into a regional distribution center. I mean, this is an actual production facility.
Right. Yep.
And so the likelihood of moving a production facility is even more difficult than moving just a distribution center.
Right, because the distribution center is going to either be a series of tanks if it's liquid, or it's just going to be a big room with shelves, and that's a lot easier to move from a capital perspective than something with boilers and conveyor belts and pipes and all that sort of stuff.
And in a Cargill's footprint type of perspective, are there instances where there are just distribution centers they're kind of allowing for dissemination or just distribution outside, but it comes from a separate production facility?
Yep. So we have several terminals around, well, more than several. Probably we have 100 different terminals around the United States for all of our products. So there'll be rail into those locations. Then typically we'll truck it to the end customer out of those locations.
Okay. But so that's in Memphis, are there distribution centers as well?
We don't have one in Memphis. We have production.
So that's only production.
In Memphis, yes.
Okay, that's interesting. So I want to kind of go into this Southwest Memphis market for a second, and you may not know the answers to these questions, but I'm going to ask them and just tell me if you don't. So can you kind of describe, at least as your perspective as a shipper, the competitive landscape for short line operators in the Memphis area? And so maybe like the top 5 short line operators, if you know them, and then like how much capacity they have, what types of products they're able to serve, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if I know the answers to those on that granular of a level.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it sounds like if you're a shipper in that market, you're going to know who serves you, and that's kind of going to be the only thing that's important.
Yes. Yeah, I would say that's correct.
Okay.
And in Cargill's case, we're served by the CN, so that's a Class 1.
Oh, and are you served by a short line as well, or are you not?
I should say we negotiate the rates with a CN with a Class 1. I don't know who's actually doing the work, if they're subcontracting that to a short line. But when we deal with people, we're dealing with Class 1.
So in that instance, the CN goes essentially north-south-ish, right?
Yep.
So does Cargill not need to go east-west with either the UP or the BNSF or the CSX?
Yeah, so typically, even though the CN may be the Class 1 we handle with on our switching and pickup operations, our cars go everywhere. So
okay. So they're then taking care of the end transport for you.
Yeah. So then they'll bring it to the yard. They'll switch it on to BN or UP or whoever.
So, and in that instance, do you see like a separate bill, or everything comes from CN and they just roll up the bill for you?
No, we'll have a separate invoice from each railroad.
Okay.
Yep.
That's helpful.
Typically we would. In some cases you can negotiate what's called a through rate, which is where you just pay one railroad and they take care of everything. But we prefer to invoice individually so we can keep costs down. Actually, if you do a through rate, they're going to charge you a premium to administer it. So.
Okay. Yeah. Nothing in this world is free.
No, it's not.
So, and maybe again, you may not know the answer to that, but do you know if any short line operators in that Memphis region would have preferred relationships with Class 1 operators?